This demonstration we're going to look at installing Forefront Protection 2010 for Exchange Server. The benefits of using Forefront Protection is that it gives us antivirus scan with multiple scan engines. We've got full support for the VS APIs, which are required for the volume shadow. Support for Microsoft Exchange. We've got full support for antivirus timestamping. The IP reputation service from Microsoft. We've got spam signature updates. It gives us premium spam protection and also automated content filtering updates as well. So in order to install all of this, I'm going to install it on my Edge Transport server. Now it could just as easily be installed on one of my Hub Transport servers as well. So what I've done here is I've already got hold of the CD. So we'll just go to the D drive. And on the D drive here, all we're going to do is just run the setup for Forefront Exchange 2010. Okay, this is just going to extract the files, so I'll just pause the video while it extracts the files. Okay, next thing to do, just read through license agreement. Agree to the policy, select next. And what it's telling us here, it's going to need to restart our Microsoft Exchange Transport. This is my Edge Transport service, so we'll select next there. And what we'll do here, just in the case of the installation folders and the data folder, we'll just go to default. As you can see, data files here, such as quarantine files and archive files, are placed in this data folder. So select next. In the case of the proxy information, I'm not using the proxy server. I don't have an internet connection anyway in my lab environment, so I'll just select next. On the anti-spam config page, I'll actually enable this later because that's part of the demonstration. I'll select next. On the Microsoft Update, don't have internet connection, so we won't use Microsoft Update. On the customer experience, I won't join. And then on the confirm settings page, all we'll do here is select next. And as you can see, it's preparing to install. We'll wait for it to start the install. It's going to take about 5 minutes. So what we'll do is, now that it's started doing this, we'll pause the video and return back at the end of the installation. Right, the installation's finished, so we'll just finish the installation. Close this down, and now what we'll do is we'll just actually launch up the Forefront Protection and we'll launch up the console. Right, it's now launched up, so under the server security settings, so we've got the dashboard, so we can have a look at various things up and running. We've got scan jobs, services, engines. I don't have any, so that's why I've got a warning. Licensing under here as well, so I'm currently using the evaluation copy. Haven't done any scans as of yet. We can have a look at the malware details as well, so nothing detected. Haven't done any scans, so spam's going to be the same. In the case of my filtering details, haven't scanned anything yet again, so incidents and quarantine are all going to be completely blank. Under the configuration here, what we've got is got the ability to set up notifications. So as you can see, haven't enabled any. In the case of event notifications, what we have here is most of them, or nearly all of them, enabled for administrator. So incident notifications not currently set up. Incident options at this point here, so we can automatically purge incidents after 30 days. So whether I've looked at them or not, they will be purged, and we can specify the database size in gigabytes as well. And if we look at quarantine options, exactly the same. So next one, we have the policy management tab, and in the policy management tab, what this is going to allow us to do is this is actually going to allow us to configure our anti-spam and antivirus policies. So the first thing we've got here is we've got the anti-malware. So if we have a look here, Edge Transport Server, within here, what we can do is we can enable transport antivirus and anti-spyware. What we've got under the engines and performance, we can scan with all the engines that we have. We can scan with just a subset. Scan with the dynamically chosen subset of engines, so Forefront can decide exactly what to scan with, or we can say scan with only one engine. So these are our antivirus and anti-spam engines that we have in place. Then what we have, if we scroll down a little bit, we've got our additional options. So we can scan doc files as containers, so we can have a look inside these things. Purge if the message body is actually deleted. Optimize for performance by not rescanning messages already virus scanned. Turn on by default, that's quite good. Why scan a message that's already been scanned and said it's virus free? We can suppress notifications. If we scroll down a little bit further, we have various other settings such as maximum container scan time in seconds and so on down the list. So quite a few settings we can put in place in order to configure our antivirus and anti-spam. So now if we just go for anti-spam and just have a look at configure under here. So we could enable anti-spam filtering at this point here, so let's turn that on. It's telling us we need to restart the service for the Exchange Transport service, so we'll say yes to that. Right, so we've enabled it. So next thing here, we've got enable content connection filtering. Enable all the checkings, they're all in. So we've got the allow lists, sender ID filters in here. We've got sender filters. Scroll down, recipient filters, backscatter filter, content filtering. We've got our suspected spam, so these are the thresholds we've got in place. Now in the case of 0, 0 is very unlikely to be spam, 9 is very likely to be spam. So anything's 5 to 8 we're going to quarantine, anything considered to be a 9 we're going to reject. So that's the anti-spam settings. We then got our filters, and in the case of our filters, we've got our filter lists, the filter type, filter options. So down here we can decide exactly what to filter out, filter in. We've got our online protection, so we can configure this as well. So on this screen we can enable forefront online protection for the Exchange Gateway management, and we can do that by all of these settings here. I don't have Exchange Online, so can't really set any of those options. Don't have internet connection either. Just under the global settings, what we have under the scan options is we've got enable scanning, bypass scanning if we wish. Select the types of scan targets, so inbound messages, outbound and internal messages. The engine options that we have in place here, so enable universal naming convention, enable the proxy services, update the engines on server startup, or enable the update as an update distribution server. And under advanced options, what we have is we've got the engine error action, so delete, ignore, skip, detect. And we've got various settings we can put in place as well for external addresses and domains that we wish to look after as well. So scrolling this down a little bit further, got the deletion criteria, so what we want to do with the messages. We've also as well got our thresholds, we've got our specialty file types, so treat multi-part RAW as a corrupt compressed file, treat high compression zips as corrupt files, yes or no. Logging options as well, it's always good to log things just in case something goes wrong. We have the mandatory Microsoft Customer Experience Improvement Program. We've also as well got the engine management as well within here, and update scanning down at the bottom as well, so for the update schedules. And that's the end of this demonstration. Very quick overview of Microsoft Forefront Protection Service.